In the bombing of Al-Fallujah School and Refugee Centre in Jabalia refugee camp. On Thursday, clouds represent these more than 41,000 people dead, all victims of Israeli genocide. In a few moments, we're going to tell you about just some of those 41,000 women, children and men. You can see their pictures here, who are living their lives like you and me until a bomb, a sniper, an artillery shell paid to their existence. And we'll read the names of just 50 of the 16,000 children who've been killed in Gaza in the last year. We'll also read some poems by Palestinian writers and other poets about the genocide in Gaza and about the more than 75 years of Israeli occupation of Palestine. We'll begin now with a poem. Nicola. Shrapnel, Looking for Laughter, by Mossab Abu Toha. The house has been bombed, everyone dead. The kids, the parents, the toys, the actors on TV, characters in novels, personas in poetry collections. The I, the he and the she, no pronouns left. Not even for the kids when they learn parts of speech next year. Shrapnel flies in the dark. Looks for the families, peals of laughter hiding behind piles of disfigured walls and bleeding picture frames. Who've been killed in Gaza over the past 12 months. Bali and Hawa will read their names.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Hassan Hussein Ahmed Al-Aslan, age 6. Fad Isam Qadir Al-Tawud, age 9. Fadwa Hussein Ahmed Al-Asatal, 13. Fadwa Shadi Walid Baroud, age 10. Fahad Munir Salha Al-Mahtoun, 15. Ahmed Al-Asghar, age 3. Yaman Muhammad Mahmoud Abu Asi, age 5. Sowar Hazim Kamal Hamdan, 9. Sowar Ibrahim Abdurrauf Al-Farah, age 1. Sowar Ibrahim Muhammad Al-Mahbub, 5. Sowar Jihad Abdullah Abu Rikab, 6. And Sowar Khalid Sabir Abu Kashlan, 1. Sarah Hussam Al-Baroud, age 12. And Sarah Muhammad Jawad Al-Wadai, age 7.
Sarah Tassin Asad McPhail, age 16, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Sarah Amir Yahya Al-Balawi, age 4, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Sarah Abdullah Ahmed Ma'mar, age 6, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Sarah Bilal Muhammad Ma'amin al-Najjar, age 6, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Manatullah Mahmoud Naif Abu Shamala, aged under 1 year old, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Niyaz Mu'af Amin Nofal, aged under 1 year old, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza. Majda Muhan Sami Aslim, aged 5, killed in Israel's attack on Gaza.
Just a few of the 41,000 people who've been killed in Gaza over the past 12 months. How they lived and how they died. And I'm going to call on people in turn to come and stand here, show their photograph and tell you about these people. I'm going to begin. This photograph is a picture of Hind Rajab. I speak today for Hind Rajab and her family. Hind was 6 years old when she was killed by Israeli tank fire as she and her uncle, aunt and 4 cousins tried to escape Gaza City by car at the end of January 2024. All her relatives were also killed. As she was trapped in the car with her dead and dying relatives, Hind made a telephone call to the Red Crescent, pleading to be rescued. But the 2 Red Crescent paramedics who went to save her were also killed by Israeli shelling. Hind's cousin Leanne, also injured and trapped in the car, spoke by phone to a relative. She said that she and Hind were the only ones left alive, both injured, unable to leave the car as the tanks got closer. Last call I had with Leanne, she was scared and she screamed that they were shooting at her. And I believe she died while we were on the call with her. I could hear that they were shooting at her. When the Palestinian Red Crescent phoned later, Hind answered and begged to be rescued. She said it was getting dark and that she was scared. It's not known how long Hind remained trapped alone in the car, surrounded by her dead relatives, before she too died. Their bodies were only able to be recovered several days later because of continued IDF shelling. Tests later showed that 335 bullets had been fired at the car from a distance of less than 23 meters. Researchers at Goldsmiths University concluded that the soldiers responsible must have seen that they were firing on children. Abu Shawar, her husband, Dr. Ala Abu Shawar, and their baby son, Ali. Sama studied media and journalism at Islamic University in Gaza and worked as a journalist. She lived in Amman in Jordan and was visiting her family in Gaza when she was killed, along with her husband, her baby son Ali, during an Israeli airstrike. Her last message was this: "If I'm gone and there is no news about me, my wish is that you keep me in your prayers." Alan.
I speak for Iliad Salam Al-Ijla. Iliad had fled from Gaza City with his family to find refuge in southern Gaza when he was killed by an Israeli airstrike in October 2023. His cousin Abdul Hadi wrote about him. He was out searching for bread to feed his family when he was killed. He was calm, loving and caring.
I speak for Hiba Abu Nada, feminist poet and novelist, best known for her novel Oxygen is Not for the Dead. Hiba was born in 1991 to a family of Palestinian refugees displaced by Israeli forces during the Nakba. She wrote about justice, the uprisings of the Arab Spring, and the realities of Palestinian life and occupation. On the 8th of October 2023, she wrote, "Gaza's night is dark, apart from the glow of rockets, quiet, apart from the sound of bombs, terrifying, apart from the comfort of prayer, black, apart from the light of the martyrs. Good night, Gaza." Shortly before her death, she wrote, "If we die, know we are content and steadfast, and convey on our behalf that we are people of truth." On October the 20th, 2023, she was killed by an Israeli airstrike at her home in Khan Yunis. She was 32 years old.
Mohammed Bashir and their mother, Aya Bashir. Malak was 12, Mohammed 9, Tamim 6, when they were killed along with 17 other family members in an Israeli airstrike. They'd gone to their grandfather's house to safety after the Israelis told them to move to an Israeli designated safe space. Malak initially survived the bombing with 50% burns to her body, but she too died a few days later.
I speak for an unnamed 10-year-old boy died from nutrition in Gaza in March 2024. In this picture, his friends hold a mock funeral in protest at Israel's restrictions on the entry of food through border crossings. In early March, 500,000 people were at risk of famine. Despite an international Court of Justice ruling that Israel must allow unimpeded entry of food into Gaza, Israel continues to limit deliveries to under half of what is needed. The UN has described levels of hunger in Gaza as entirely man-made. The UN High Commission for Human Rights says the extent of Israel's continued restrictions on the entry of aid into Gaza, together with the manner in which it continues to conduct hostilities, may amount to the use of starvation as a weapon of war, which is a war crime. The BBC's Middle East editor Jeremy Bowen wrote in April 2024, "Israel denies famine looms in Gaza, but the evidence is overwhelming. This is a deliberate tactic. Last October, the Defense Minister, Yoav Gallant, said, 'I have ordered a complete siege of the Gaza Strip. There will be no electricity, no food, no fuel. Everything is closed.' In June 2024, it was reported that 40 people had died of starvation, which was entirely man-made. At least 34 of them were children.
For Allah Salam, her daughter Dinah Salam, and her brother Muhammad Allah worked as an engineer. She was 15, her daughter Dina was 12, and her brother Muhammad was 25, when they were all killed, along with nearly 20 members of their family, in an Israeli airstrike on their family home.
I speak for Mahmoud Al-Anouk. He was killed when an Israeli missile hit his home in the central Gaza attack on 20th of October 2020. 19 other members of his family were killed. He had just returned from visiting Malaysia and was soon to leave for Australia to study political science. He worked for a human rights organisation in Gaza. When he was killed, he was working on a crowdfunding campaign to help displaced families. A colleague wrote about him. For years, Mahmoud worked relentlessly to support others and improve himself with big dreams. He planned for his future as he did not live in Gaza, as if he would not have been burned inside his home merely for being a Palestinian.
A 10-year-old boy treated for cancer in Gaza's only cancer department before the genocide began. He's pictured here with the last drawing he did. It was his message of thanks to the doctors who treated him. In October 2023, Israel bombed his home, killing Mujahid and his entire extended family.
I speak for twin babies of Rania Abu Anza. In this picture, she cradled the body of the one of her 5-month-old twins after an airstrike killed them in early March 2024. The twins were conceived after a 10-year wait and 3 rounds of IVF. They were born in the week the war on Gaza began. There were among 14 killed in the airstrike. Their father was among the dead. Another 9 people were missing under the rubble. Rania also lost a sister, a nephew, a pregnant cousin, and other relative in the airstrike. She said, "I lost all the people who were dearest to me."
35 minutes. So I'm going to cut the rest of the poems. I'm going to ask the people in shrouds to get up. When they've done that, we'll continue the event by reading some poems. So people on the ground, please get up now.
Name on your leg, so we will be remembered as a family. Write my name on my leg, Mama. Don't add any numbers, like when I was born on the address of our home. I want the world to list me as a number. I don't want the world to list me as a number. I have a name and I am not a number. Write my name on my leg, Mama. When the bomb hits our house, when the walls crush our skulls and bones, our legs will tell our story, how there was nowhere for us to run.
Our bodies are disfigured and twisted, embroidered with bullets and shrapnel. Our names are pronounced incorrectly on the radio and TV. Our photos, plastered onto the walls of our buildings, fade and grow pale. The inscriptions on our gravestones disappear, covered in the feces of birds and reptiles. No one waters the trees that give shade to our graves. The blazing sun has overwhelmed our rotting bodies.
My grandfather was a terrorist. He tended to his field, watered the roses in the courtyard, smoked cigarettes with grandmother on the yellow beach lying there, like a prayer rug. My grandfather was a terrorist. He picked oranges and lemons, went fishing with brothers until noon, sang a comforting song en route to the farriers with his piebald horse. My grandfather was a terrorist. He made a cup of tea with milk, sat on his verdant land, as soft as silk. My grandfather was a terrorist. He departed his house, leaving it for the coming guests, left some water on the table, his best, lest the guests die of thirst after their conquest. My grandfather was a terrorist. He walked to the closest safe town, empty as the sullen sky, vacant as a deserted tent, dark as a starless night. My grandfather was a terrorist. My grandfather was a man, a breadwinner for 10, whose luxury was to have a tent with a blue UN flag set on the rusting pole on the beach next to a cemetery.
To Kamal Nasser, Yusuf Virjev and Kamal Abdul, one eagle after another vanished into darkness. One by one they were slain for having towered above the clouds. Motherland, for your sake their blood was spilled, like rosary beads of rubies slip, gone are those we love. Sorrow had no voice, behold, sorrow flowers silence to my lips, and words fail, much the same as their bodies fell, corpses distorted. What else could I say? Their blood is smearing my vision, gone are those we love. Before their vessel ever anchored, before their eyes ever caught sight of the distant port.
I'm just walking my path. I have nothing but peace and love on my list. In my land were only mothers. And what kind of mothers? What kind of fathers? Mothers who weep and fathers who suffer. Children scream under the rain. Politicians lie. They promise peace. They continue to steal my land with pre-war laws. They've stolen my childhood, stolen my hopes. My land is saturated with blood. They've oppressed us with violence. But in the eyes of the world, I'm nothing but a terrorist or a thief. A Muslim right to a country. Nevertheless, I continue to my land with words. Don't deceive me. Don't delude me. I will continue to believe in freedom. A day will come when the sun will rise. One of the lands of olives and flowers, at the end and not the end. Freedom for Palestine.
Thank you everyone for coming today. So it's vital that we continue to speak out against the barbaric crimes that Israel has been committing in Palestine and is now committing in Lebanon. Israel's military actions would not be possible without the political, financial and military support of our government, as well as other institutions and organisations, including some in Coventry. These include Coventry City Council, which currently has investments in companies that are supporting Israel's genocide and oppression of the Palestinian people. Also, Barclays Bank, just here on the next street, which supplies billions of pounds to companies selling weapons to Israel. And let's not forget the universities of Coventry and Warwick that have research partnerships with companies producing the lethal weaponry that has killed and maimed tens of thousands of children. As the genocide in Gaza enters its second year, we must redouble our efforts. We cannot be silent or complacent in the face of the mass slaughter of civilians. What can we do? We can boycott companies that are supporting Israel. Go to the BDS movement website for a list. If you've got an account with Barclays Bank, close it. On the City Council website, there is a petition that you can sign calling on the council to divest from companies supporting Israel. You can attend the next national demonstration in London, organised by the PSC and others who are calling on the government for an immediate ceasefire and to stop arming Israel. There will be coaches going from Coventry. Please speak to Bali. Where's Bali? Please speak to Bali if you'd like to book a seat on the coach going from Coventry next Saturday to the London demonstration. If you're a member of a trade union, organise an action in your workplace on the 10th of October as part of the National Workplace Day of Action for Palestine, which is being supported by the TUC, Trade Union Congress. Let's keep protesting, let's keep boycotting, let's not stop speaking about what is happening until Palestine is free. Thank you.
So, a very good gathering there in City Centre Coventry, a very important one. Well done to all those who came, who spoke, well organised, and we will continue standing for Palestine until there is ceasefire, until there is end to this war, until there is justice. We will continue fighting for Palestine. So, well done to all involved, and may you all continue your hard work in justice.